Hi everyone, my name's Chris Williams and welcome back to my listening project. Today I'm here with Michael, who is the cameraman, and we're standing in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park at the Beaver Marsh, and it happens to be 24 degrees, but hey, we're out and about listening in everyday life. Today our topic is about listening and what animals have to teach us about listening. But first I'd like to tell you just a couple of things about where we are. This is part of where the old Ohio Erie Canal was, and right across from me is where the bikes and the people can walk. So far we have about 80 miles of the 110 completed. And there's lots of wildlife around here. As Michael and I were walking down the trail, a hawk flew above us, the turtles, which of course aren't out right now. There's lots of blue heron, coyote, and just all different kinds of birds and other creatures around us. Now, over the years, I've posed a question to myself more than once, and especially in difficult times. And that question is, where are you, God? I'm hurting and I can't hear you. Please help me. Please give me a sign. Please help me know that I'm not alone. And so that was my concept of listening, was just send me this message and I'm thinking of it coming in a particular way. Well, a few years ago, when I was really working on the listening project, I would document all the different ways and when I could hear God and the messages that were coming to me, those divine messages. And I discovered that my concept of listening and listening to the voice within was really much broader, and it included a lot of other different things. And the bottom line of what I learned is that if I wanted to hear God, I needed to be still and look around. That the possibilities for listening were endless if I would only be open to them. So now, once again, here we are at the park, at the Beaver Marsh, and I wanted to share with you about the Native American tradition. And in the Native American tradition, animals represent different qualities. So, for example, an eagle represents vision, and an ant represents being industrious. But also in this tradition, what's so important is that animals can teach us, and they have so much to offer to us if we're willing to listen. And I have some examples that I wanted to share with you. One is that walking along this trail, along the canal one day, a few years ago, I saw 110 turtles sunning themselves within, say, an eighth of a mile. Well, I'd never seen such a sight, and I've been hiking and biking these trails for years. And it was almost like the universe was screaming at me to say, pay attention. So I went home and I looked up in my Native American reference guides regarding animals what it said about turtle. And what it said about turtle was, turtle teaches us about protection. Turtle teaches us about looking within at our creative side. Turtle teaches us that all we need is here and now if we approach things in the right timing and in the right way. And it also teaches us about the connectedness of all things. Well, it was the perfect message at a perfect time in my life. There were other examples. One day, a hawk flew right in front of me and above me. And another day, as I was walking, I ended up running face to face into the biggest black snake I've ever seen. And as we were eyeball to eyeball, I have to say, we were both surprised at the whole experience. So there were many, it was sort of interesting because on the one hand, I was saying to God, where are you? All I'm hearing is silence. Please send me a message, send me a sign. And over here, within a few weeks, I was seeing these extraordinary animals appear to me. And it wasn't like I saw a dog walk in front of me and I would get all excited about that. But when you see 110 turtles, and when you see an eagle sweeping before you, and when you see that big black snake eyeball to eyeball, you pay attention. And that's what I'm asking you to think about today, because once again, this is my truth. And I always suspected that animals could teach us, but now I know, and I don't need any convincing about that. So what I would ask all of you to do is to think about in what ways can animals teach you, and what have you learned. And this is fun. It's fun to observe, it's fun to pay attention, but it is also a deeply important experience to think about when we explore listening within ourselves. I will be adding the references of the Native American books that I go to on my website, and until we meet again, may the listener in each of us grow and flourish. Thank you so much.